Oof, that was ugly. That was ugly. There is no getting around it, Jets fans. Glenn Naughton, Jet Nation Radio, here to talk about Gangrene's Week 2 blowout loss at the hands of the New England Patriots. They fall 25-6. Rookie quarterback Zach Wilson looked every bit a rookie, as so many other young signal callers have done against Bill Belichick. This time out, Wilson throws 4 interceptions. You can make the case one of them wasn't his fault. The first one was through into multiple coverage. Ball was batted up by one defender, picked off by another, kind of in a spot where Corey Davis couldn't get to it. He then tries to hit Davis again on the next drive, his next pass attempt, actually. Little ball was a little bit high but catchable. Went through Davis's hands. That was intercepted. On the broadcast, they even said Davis approached Wilson and apologized after the pick, said it was on him. Then an ugly underthrow to Elijah Moore, and on a ball where there was no pressure. There was a path to get the ball to Moore, as Wilson just didn't deliver. Just an ugly, ugly game from Zach Wilson. Lots of mistakes. Couple of flashes. Couple of decent throws that, that little peek into the potential and why the Jets took him where they did. Best throw of the day, probably a deep ball completion down the sideline. He had a couple decent balls to one to Braxton Berrios, one to Jeff Smith, who is still playing over Denzel Mims. Denzel Mims, who, and I just tweeted this out, if we are to take Robert Saleh at his word, Denzel Mims has had 2 months of the greatest practices you will ever see in your life. All we keep hearing about is how Denzel Mims he's having great practice with Denzel, great practice. But then he said, until he's better than Jeff Smith, he doesn't get to play. So Denzel Mims right now, undrafted free agent Jeff Smith is better than you are. And listen, I'm a Jeff Smith guy. I liked him out of Boston College, loved the potential for the gimmick plays, went to BC as a quarterback, runs a 4.36, get him an open space, maybe he becomes a playmaker one day. I like Jeff Smith. But from what I've seen from Jeff Smith over a couple years here with the Jets and what we saw from Denzel Mims last season, it ain't close. It ain't close. And as long as the Jets keep losing and failing to move the football, people are going to keep talking about Denzel Mims not playing. And Robert Saleh can tell us all he wants that, he's having good practices. But, Keelan Cole, right? You signed him. You can't bench Denzel Mims if you got Keelan Cole out there. He had, let's look at Keelan Cole's stat line today. I remember Mims last week had 3 reps, which included the longest, he had the longest catch of the day for the Jets on offense with a 40-yard grab last week. Let's see, Keelan Cole, 0-0-0-0-0-0-0. All right. So Keelan Cole, right now, better player than Denzel Mims. Jeff Smith, better player than Denzel Mims. In all seriousness, folks, I have no idea what Denzel Mims has done to get himself buried this deep in the doghouse, but he is there, and there's little reason to think he's coming out anytime soon. But speaking of guys who were in the doghouse, someone who should be in the doghouse, a guy I defended quite a bit this offseason because he was an improved player in the second half last year, guard Greg Van Roten. Now, the offensive line as a whole was much better this week than it was last week. Zach Wilson he got hit he got beat up a little bit, but not nearly as bad. We saw some bad throws from Wilson, a little bit concerning. I counted five passes where he had time, he had space, he had an open man, and just sailed the ball high over his receiver's head. 5 of those at least today from Zach Wilson. So that's a little bit worrying. When pressure was there, it often came right over Van Roten, who was getting steamrolled. The Jets have to look at making a move there. I know they can't make a trade. I get that. But, we're still a few weeks away from Cam Clark. So I don't really know what they can do. They have a couple bodies on the practice squad. Maybe you audition somebody. But right now, Greg Van Roten is the weak link on that O-line, which kind of sucks. He's a good dude. He's the local guy. He's the Jets fan. He got a picture of him wearing a Jets helmet when he's 7 years old. He loves the area. He's from the area. Grew up watching the team. Plays for the team. Everyone wants him to be good, and he's not. So, right now, they got to look at replacing Greg Van Roten. But the good news, listen, we don't know. Here's the thing. The Jets corners, another really good job. Another really good week for them. I believe the Patriots' leading receiver in terms of wide receivers put up 38 yards. and the Jets did a really good job. Even last week when Robbie beat them deep, that was on the safety. So the corners have not given much, haven't given up much, but at the same time, if we're being honest with ourselves, they haven't really been challenged because teams haven't had to. Because the Jets, teams haven't been in a spot where they have to throw the ball deep or down the field to make plays. They've been able to just dink and dunk their way. But even that being said, a little bit better today from C.J. Mosley. Looked like a better player today than he was last week. I believe he finished up with 10 tackles. The D-line was fantastic. Rankins had a sack. JFM had another sack. And Foley Fatukasi early in the game, again, it's one of those things that doesn't show up in the box score. Nobody was blocking him. He couldn't block him. He was getting penetration consistently. So the guys up front had a good game. The defense, this really was sort of one for the ages in terms of how badly the Jets were, or how much the defense was having to overcome. I'm trying to look real quick and see exactly what the time of possession was. And of course, NFL.com is not cooperating. But either way, the Pats had the ball. The Jets had Wilson threw interceptions on each of his first 2 drives. The Pats had run over 20 plays by the time the Jets got to their 4th play. So not a great showing for Wilson. He was inaccurate. His mechanics were a mess. Somebody's it's the pressure. He's under so much pressure. Listen, it's week 2. This isn't Andrew Luck. He's not been dealing with this for 4 or 5 years and getting chased. He got chased last week. He got chased a little bit today. A game and a couple pressures shouldn't be enough to completely ruin a guy's mechanics. And he made some ugly throws, and that's often what you see, as I mentioned a few minutes ago. You see balls sailing high when a guy's mechanics are off, and that's what was happening. So Wilson was off. It was a bad day for him. But the good day for the corners, good day for the D-line. The linebackers were better. The one thing that jumped out to me as well, the running backs, we saw more of Ty Johnson, which is a good thing. We saw more Michael Carter, which is a good thing. They were all, 4.5 plus yards a carry. So the run game was there. The pass pro was not perfect, but it was better. Zach Wilson just didn't get the job done. And there's going to be days like this. You got a rookie quarterback going against Bill Belichick. There's a chance it's not going to be pretty. And today it wasn't pretty. So it was, all the morons we're going to hear saying, ghosts? You seeing ghosts? Because God forbid someone have an original thought. But listen, bad day for the kid. Not a terrible day for the O-line. Defense kept them in this game. 1 or 2 moments where they broke down, but really, even that last drive, they were getting after it. The Pats had the ball inside the 5. The Jets could have just easily let up and let them walk in the end zone because the game was over. And they stuffed the Pats. So the defense played all out, balls to the wall from the first whistle to the last. So good credit, good job by them. And some aspects of the game were better than last week, and some were worse. So now it's a matter of kind of getting it to where everybody plays well at the same time. Still very few contributions from the tight ends. I think Tyler Kroft had 1 catch. Griffin had 1 or 2. They took a deep shot to Griffin. I'm seeing Ryan Griffin's getting deep shots down the field, and Braxton Berrios. And I don't mean to keep going on about the Denzel Mims thing, but when Cole does nothing, and when you're telling me that Jeff Smith's a better player than Denzel Mims, and again, I'm a Smith guy. I like him. Every year he's been from the first year they brought him to camp as an undrafted free agent. He was always a guy I said, I hope he sticks. I hope he finds a way to stick. I like this guy he can be something here. There's a player to work with. So I'm not ripping Jeff Smith. I'm just saying at this point in time, I don't see how he's a better player than Denzel Mims. And the Mims talk will continue, especially, again, as long as the team continues to struggle. But that's it for this week. We will have more on Jet Nation Radio this week. Myself, Alex Varallo, hopefully Dylan Turman. Check us out, jetnationradio.com. Go to jetnation.com. Check out our forums, most active Jets forums on the internet. And I'll tell you what, I'll bet it's a good time in there right now. People are probably losing their minds. But this is what happens. This is what, this is the life of a Jets fan, folks. And we move forward and keep hoping this team finally finds a way to get it right. Thanks so much for watching, and tune in this week, Jet Nation Radio, Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Take care.